Hey guys, I know this isn't my usual scripted kind of ranked episode, but I wanted to do something a little different. This is actually a Twitch compilation with me and Eric that I did about a month back, where we ranked and reviewed everything in the MCU's Infinity Saga, including all the TV shows. From my knowledge, no one on the entirety of YouTube has ever done everything, including all the shows, so this is kind of a big deal in my eyes. But don't worry, the whole channel won't just become Twitch compilations, and I'm still going to do scripted stuff, but if you want to stay in tune for more stuff like this, follow my Twitch page if, something else interesting comes up. Other than that, the only other kind of rule we have is that I've seen some other tier lists where we both get one emergency S rank pick. Me and Eric both have that, but other than that, enjoy part 1, and part 2 will come out very soon. Let's just start this, because if we don't start immediately, this is going to be like 10 hours long. Okay, so Iron Man 2008. We start at the very, very beginning. What are your thoughts on Iron Man 2008? On where it's gonna go on the tier list? S, A, B, C, D, F.
Let's see. If I was a critic, I'd be like, it's the one that started it all. But I'll just be like, it's an A movie. I wouldn't say it's the best.
Yeah, that's just what I was gonna say. But I don't know if you're a huge Iron Man 1 stan, because there are some Iron Man 1 stans that are like, it's the best one. It's like, it's good. It's A. I think A is very fair.
The CGI, when you compare it to like New Marvel,
shit,
it's like,
it's so fucking good.
It still holds up.
It's a fun action movie, and it gets a lot of stuff right in those first like 2/3, and it's really fun to see where everything started. But I just have to admit, the movie kind of loses itself in the third act, which I think is a huge issue for a lot of these early Marvel films. They just lose their fucking shit in the third act. I think this one's kind of, I think it ends kind of weird.
Wait.
Yeah, you get what I mean. If you haven't rewatched it in a while and you rewatch Iron Man 1, you'll get what I mean when I say the ending is weird. Because it's just, I don't know, it just ends off on a kind of a weird note. Next up, Incredible Hulk 2008. This movie is the GOAT. This movie is so fucking, I love this movie, but objectively, if we're comparing it against every single other piece of MCU media, it's really not that good. I think standalone, like if you take Incredible Hulk, you separate it from the MCU entirely, it's a pretty good movie. But stacked up against everything else, it's like a low B to like a very high C for me.
Bro, that fight went hard, bro. When I was like,
oh my god,
little 8 me, bro.
Yeah,
bro. When Hulk started dropping his cock at Abomination, oh my god,
that was crazy, man. That shit was.
That's when I knew I wanted to be Hulk, like for real, bro.
That shit was crazy.
I tried injecting myself with green serum, bro, and then next 2 days later, I had HIV. I don't even know what the hell that is.
I like this movie, and I really like how it does represent like a kind of a shattered Bruce Banner, which is something that we don't see in really the rest of the MCU post Avengers 2012. And it's a fun watch, but I think objectively there are some issues about it. Again, I don't know. I think the first half especially is really, really good. The second half's like, it's alright. But I'd give it like a B. I don't think it's deserving of C tier. I'd give it a B. I think a B is pretty fair. Do you agree?
Low B. Probably low B.
I'd give it a very low B. We might move down to like a high C. Anyways, next comes up Iron Man 2, which pretty much all the critics agree. This is kind of the first big fuck up that the MCU did. This was the first time that the MCU really fucked up, people would say. And I can kind of agree with that. It's not a bad movie. It's got the pieces. Like, it definitely does have the pieces to be like a great movie, but I think my sister said a really great thing. This feels like the safest possible Iron Man story you could possibly tell. And I think that summarizes Iron Man 2 like very, very concisely. It's very safe. It's probably the safest MCU project, not counting like Thor: The Dark World. It's one of the safest things that they've ever done.
Black Widow, for real, a baddie, bro. That's all I gotta say. Otherwise, the movie just lacks villain,
motive.
Yeah, the villain lacks motive. It's just some random dude.
I think the pieces are there for a fun Iron Man story, but it kind of falls flat when there's kind of no real, like, huge sense of direction on it. It's fine, but it's a very safe, definitely one of the safest things the MCU's ever made. I think, like, a C is fair. Next up, we got Thor. I don't know what to even think. It's fucking boring. This movie's fucking boring. I think the Thor stuff, the Loki stuff, is the only like redeeming quality of this movie. I think the Loki and whenever Loki and Thor are in a scene together, it's so fucking good. But the entire movie is just completely bogged down by the love storyline, which is very boring. The only person that actually likes the love storyline stuff in Thor is my mom. So if you're my mom, this is your kind of movie. But if you're not a middle-aged mom, there's really not too much like huge action-y stuff to warrant this movie. I really don't think like it's really that action-oriented, because most of the movie takes place in New Mexico, and it's a bunch of fucking bullshit. I don't...
when you look, the CGI is not that. You can notice it's choppy. The CGI. And the fight scenes, just like they're boring. Are you putting it below Iron Man 2?
I'm putting it below Iron Man 2 because at least I don't know. I think
Iron Man 2 was more like
Yeah, it's more safe. Like I can just watch it and I won't have any issues with it compared to Thor, where there's no part of Iron Man 2 where I'm like ugh, or I'm like kind of pissed off. Thor, despite there being some peaks with all the Loki stuff, there is some very forgettable stuff with the love storyline. So we're just gonna keep that there.
Move on.
Next up, Captain America: The First Avenger. That's a solid A tier for me. I love the first Cap movie.
I wouldn't say it's A tier. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying,
I think you gotta look. I think you gotta rewatch the first Captain America to kind of understand what I'm saying. I know the movie does kind of lose itself in the end with the Red Skull storyline. I know that kind of sucks, but oh my god, the first 2/3 of the movie are perfect. It's like Iron Man 1 to me, where even though the movie kind of loses itself in the end, those first 2/3 are so fucking good. And there's so many incredible moments in the beginning of this movie that it kind of overrides some of the batshit insane stuff that happens by the end of the movie. And oh my god, the very last scene at the end, the grenade scene, I don't know. There's so many like memorable moments for this one that I feel like it's worthy of an A tier. Like I'd say like a low A. I'd say it's worthy of a low A tier.
Just put it at B.
B? I'll put it high B. I'll put it above Incredible Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Next up, definitely. Avengers 1. This is S tier. I don't think we need to even argue about that shit. This is when I think this was the first masterpiece that the MCU ever put out. This is where I think everyone collectively like got their shit together and said, okay, so we're making good movies now. It's perfect. It just takes every good piece of MCU stuff and it just merges it all into one movie. Like what I liked about Incredible Hulk, Thor with the Loki stuff, Iron Man with his greatness. It just takes everything I love about all the movies and it just creates the perfect fucking movie. It's just the perfect fucking movie. It's so good.
Yes, sir, Brad. The fight, CGI, villain, and then more of the you see like how far the MCU when it came to like to phase 1 to phase 3, you can see like all the like
you can see where the pieces start,
and you see like how you see the success of the Avengers, would inspire like the DC.
Oh yeah.
And like you could see that especially because because they saw how Avengers was like a great hit. Like
this movie changed cinema forever. I don't think anyone can deny that this movie fucking changed cinema and changed how we view movies today. Because after this movie came out and became the biggest fucking movie ever, everyone wanted to cash in on this movie's success. And I can't blame anyone because it's such a fucking good movie,
It's like when you compare it to other attempts, it just like fall flat.
Yeah, no other cinematic universe attempt has been able to triumph that of Avengers 1 and what it's been able to fucking accomplish.
We'll keep it at S tier, bro.
Keep it at S.
No.
We could talk about that. We can talk about Avengers 1 for fucking hours, but to move on, Iron Man 3, I'd give it an A tier, honestly. What? S?
Iron Man 3? Okay, explain. No. Explain yourself.
I love Iron Man 3, and it's basically the perfect fucking MCU movie. But I don't know. It's S for me. But at the same time, is it better than Iron Man 1? I'm like, I don't know if I could confidently say I enjoy it more than Iron Man 1, right? So I keep it at A tier,
Are you the same person? Dude, that shit is fucking dog shit.
What are you talking about? What do you want about?
The third Iron Man is dog shit. Don't now say Iron Man 3 has a chance to be Iron Man.
What the fuck are you on about? This shit is goated, son. This movie is goated! This movie is goated, son!
But the only thing goated was that poster where Iron Man 3
No.
where Iron Man falling. That's the only goated.
No. Have you actually watched this fucking movie? Have you actually watched this movie?
It's fun with like fake Mandarins, like, oh, it's like
Fake Mandarin is awesome. The kid is like cool, dude. Tony is like straight, dude. There's so much awesome stuff that happens in this movie. This movie is Tony incarnate. This movie is so awesome. This movie is. How can you say this movie isn't good?
Bro, fuck that little kid, bro. What's his name? Arthur Henry. Little blonde ass.
Shit, I might have to use my emergency S rank on this one. Holy shit.
Oh hell no.
Well, am I gonna have to use my emergency S rank on this fucking movie because we can't agree that this is a good fucking movie?
Bro, the Iron Man suit in the movie is.
I don't care about the suit. I don't care about the suit. The movie, you don't care about nothing. You just care about who is hot, who is not, and that's it. You don't actually care about the movie for the storyline itself. I know this movie got a bunch of shit when it came out for no reason. The only reason why this movie got review bombed was because nobody liked the Iron Man suit. And that was it. Nobody actually bothered to sit down and enjoy the movie for the storyline that it has. And for the storyline is so awesome. Tony has so many great moments. Everyone's got moments. Dude, Tony is so shattered and broken in this movie. And not in a stupid Iron Man 2 way. Dude, this guy just loses his shit. And it's so cool to see him recover. And it's such a fucking cool movie, man. What is your problem?
Look, I'll give you this. That scene where, like, Tony's, like, captive, and he's fighting off, like, the Mandarin's goons, without really, like, a lot of his, like, you know, Iron Man shit. I like that scene because it shows, you know, that Tony doesn't need all this shit, like, you know, how Captain America, you know, needs his serum to be something. You know, I like that.
But I like all the Iron Man suits, dude. Do you remember the scene where Tony is, like, in handcuffs? And he's got his shit wrapped up, and he starts a fire using like only his mind and like his brain power. It shows like how smart he actually is. You remember that scene?
Yes, I was really explaining about that scene.
Those are the scenes that make this movie goated, son.
But it still follows the trend of all Iron Man movies. Because the end, it just fed on. Oh my god, I can't speak. Ends off with just a big shebang, just all the Iron Man suits against this one dude.
Oh, I thought you weren't watching the stream. I thought you weren't watching the stream.
Bro, why are you coming on me?
I don't know.
Look. It just ends off with a big fight, big MCU fight, big CGI fight. And the villain just sucks. The main villain, not Mandarin. It's the other one, Ultra Killian.
Yeah, that guy was cool.
No, he wasn't.
He's way better. He's easily like the most like cohesive villain the Iron Man series have. It's still not the best villain. It's still not one of the best MCU villains. But compared to Iron Man 2, compared to Iron Man 1, at least we got something here, son.
Honestly, I prefer the Long Man.
Alright, fine. I'll settle for like a high B. Just because I don't want to stay...
How did you rewatch the movie like after like, you know, it was released?
Yeah, I rewatched it. Yeah, I rewatched that shit like 2 years ago.
I feel like Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3 is just a little too long. It's like 2 hours and like something.
I don't give a fuck. 2.5 hours of nothing goated?
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'll leave it at a low. I'll leave it at a high B, just so that you don't shit your pants. But if we can go back to it later, we will. Next up.
I don't remember too much about Iron Man 3. Like all I know is.
Then you can't say shit. Then you can't fucking say shit. Go rewatch that shit. Rewatch it.
That says something. If I can't remember the movie, it's because it's dog shit. It's like with Thor: The Dark World.
Okay. We're gonna switch gears. We're gonna switch gears, and we're gonna talk about something actually also goated, because I don't want this to just become the Iron Man 3 debate. I like this movie. Eric doesn't. That's all you gotta know. This is definitely one of the most divisive MCU movies, but that just shows how good it is. Next up, the MCU would delve into one of its also a very controversial thing, but that would become one of the single greatest pieces of MCU content ever. The MCU would finally delve in after the hot success of the Avengers. Marvel would come in hot with Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This shit is S tier, son. This shit is fucking awesome. If I've seen all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I know people shat on the show when it came out, but trust me, stick with this show after the first 10 episodes, and this is one of the best pieces of entertainment you're ever gonna find on the web. It's so good, the characters are great, they brought back Phil Coulson, and this started the fucking Marvel trend of bringing back characters that were dead, but it doesn't matter because Phil Coulson is my favorite MCU character ever. He's the best one. Phil Coulson is so awesome. The lineup, the agents are so cool. You get Fitzsimmons, you get Mac, you get Daisy, you get all these cool fucking Melinda May. Dude, and each season just keeps getting better, man. The Tahiti storyline, man. The Fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. storyline. There's so many amazing storylines, and it started here in 2013, man, and it had such a great 7-year run. I don't give a shit if you care, Eric, but I know you haven't seen it, so you can't really talk shit, but I think this is easily worthy of an S tier, easily one of the best MCU projects, if not maybe just the best, just on the sheer amount of content that it has with its 7-season run.
And here's my argument.
Okay.
I'm putting it at F tier because I ain't watching all that, bro. I ain't watching all that.
Fuck you. You can suck it. Look, I think my point is made. I really like the show. Eric has never seen it, so he can't say shit. So I'm putting it at S, and you can't argue.
Put that shit in. I'm not watching that shit here, bro.
Fuck you.
He's standing right behind me. Isn't he?
My show, my fucking show. Anyways, Thor.
The Shield.
Next up, we got Thor: The Dark World. This shit's a fucking D tier, if not a fucking F. This is easily probably the worst MCU project.
Actually, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one, buddy.
Okay, it's not the worst, right? There are
I watched
worse.
The Dark World 100 times, and after watching it that 99th time, I was like, "This shit S tier, bro. Put that shit in S tier right now."
You're not wasting your emergency S on this shit,
bro. I ain't, bro. I am, bro.
You're not.
Put that shit right now.
I'm not doing it. Look, can we be for real here? It's not the worst thing. I think I do appreciate this movie a lot more post Avengers Endgame, because if it weren't for Avengers Endgame, you could cut this movie out from the timeline and fucking nothing would be lost. But now, because of Avengers Endgame, it definitely gives this movie some merit, so I do like that. And of course the Loki stuff's always good, but it's just very forgettable. I'd give it a D tier.
The only thing saving this movie is Loki and that little cliffhanger shit. Honestly, I think I'd just rather put this in F. It's just boring. I literally was watching this. I was watching this like on streaming service.
Yeah.
And I literally had to like break it apart in 3 days, bro. That shit was so boring.
Oh, fucking god! I could watch it in one sitting. Come on, it's not that bad. But
it's so boring, dude.
This was the worst rated MCU movie for the longest time before Eternals came out, and I could definitely see why it was. Anyways, we're already like 30 minutes in. Holy shit. Next up, we got S tier material right here, boy. We got Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Come on, we can agree that this movie's S tier. Come on.
They have Nazis. They have sex. They have fight. That's just awesome. Bro.
This movie is so fucking good. This is the movie that made Captain America from pretty cool to one of my favorite heroes. It's probably if there's one thing is, I think if you go to like the most amount of like movie critics and like hardcore fans, what is their favorite MCU movie? Not 9 times out of 10, but there's a very large majority chance that you're going to hear a lot of people say The Winter Soldier, and with good reason. Like, I can see why people say that. It's a very well-made movie. The action is good. The story beats are amazing. Oh, the Winter Soldier storyline is great. The Fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., Nazis, Black Widow's in it. You gotta get some cool heroes in it. It's just everything. There's no issues with it. It's just such a good movie, and I love the themes. It's a nice... I love it because it feels very different from a lot of the other MCU stuff. It feels kind of similar to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and how it's like, it's spy shit. It's very cool. Very kind of separate from everything else. Because it feels more grounded, if that makes sense. Especially more grounded than what we're going to be talking up next. But, yeah, it's pretty good. And I enjoy it. It's no issues with it. It's just a perfect fucking MCU movie. It's a great movie.
Thanks. That's all I got to say.
Anyways,
that shit S tier, bro.
I don't think there's any arguing that Guardians of the Galaxy is fucking S tier.
The only thing that Guardians lacks is just the villain, and I don't really like.
Yeah, but a movie like this doesn't really need a villain, you know.
I guess not. Especially like the thing that not saves, because it makes it seem like it's a bad movie.
Yeah. The thing that makes
my favorite scene is when the Guardians are holding the Power Stone. That shit made hit me in the feels, bro. That's like, I got family scene. That shit almost beats Dom Toronto's "I got family" line, bro.
Yeah, that shit's so good. I mean, it's just a fun action movie. And if you want a villain, of course, you got Guardians too, which we'll talk about later. But I think the one thing that validates Guardians as like a worthy S tier is that this was the movie that got people who didn't give a shit about Marvel movies to like Marvel movies. It got normies into Marvel, and while that seems like a bad thing, it just widened the scope of Marvel so much. The fact that they were able to turn such an obscure comic into like such a big hit, and it just got so many fucking people into Marvel. This movie was just such a huge deal when it came out, and I think it can't be put anything but S just because of fucking how much it validated that, you know.
Yeah. Facts.
Exactly. Next up, we get the MCU's second television show, which was aired to ABC. Agent Carter. It's pretty good.
You don't sound like you don't sound smart. You sound like a geek.
Shut up. So Agent Carter, I do like this show. I think it's overrated though. I do really like it, especially season 2. Season 2 is really good. But the fact that people say it's like an S tier show, it's like, dude, it's good, right? But it's not, dude. It was good. It was that's it. You know, holy shit.
Yo, who are these people that are watching Agent Carter, bro?
I don't know.
People?
If you go to fucking like IMDb or like MCU ranked like posts, this shit is always in like the top 10. I think if you go right now onto like Rotten Tomatoes, the first season has like a 90 out of 100 like on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, dude, I liked the show. Don't get me wrong. It's a really good show, but holy fucking shit, it wasn't that good. What the fuck?
Are you like one of the only 3 viewers who watched Agent Carter?
Probably, and as one of the only people who've seen the show, it's worth seeing. It seems like it's kind of low budget, but I do really like it because it picks up exactly where Captain America: The First Avenger left off, and how the show is set in the 1950s. Because here's the thing: is that like the first Captain America: The First Avenger is like right in the heat of World War II, and the fact that Agent Carter takes place after World War II, Peggy, Captain America's gone, and Peggy Carter's trying to live a new life. Seeing that stuff in the first couple episodes, that stuff is really fun to see because you just see the aftermath of World War II, and I love how it picks up. The first season is alright, it's pretty good. I do love season 2 though, because the Dark Matter storyline, really one of the best villains the MCU has seen. So it's a lot of cool stuff. You see Agent Carter, you see Howard Stark, it hits all the right notes. It's good. It's a good show. But nothing too fucking 10 out of 10, like holy fucking shit. But I like it. It's a good show.
You know what I was thinking?
What?
You know what I'm thinking right now?
What?
Hitler hard carried World War II, bro. Like, without Hitler, there is no World War II, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. Because one, I haven't watched Agent Carter. I just know it's trash. And 2, like,
shut up.
When you said World War II, I just thought of, dang, Hitler carried this shit.
Alright, whatever. Next up.
You're just mad, bro.
Shut up. Shut up. Fuck you. Alright, so next up, we got another S tier project. I'm talking Daredevil. Alright? This shit's S tier. The start of the Marvel Knight series, which was all the Netflix series shows. Oh my god. This is a 10 out of 10. Probably second best MCU project ever, just because I like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a bit better. But if it wasn't for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this is easily hard. So good. It's so much better than everything else in the MCU to the point where it's kind of hard to even compare it to everything else because it's just on a whole other fucking level, man. It's on a whole other level. It's so gritty. And keep in mind, this is the very first R-rated MCU project. Well, technically it's TVMA, but this was the very first mature-rated MCU project, and it shows, man. The violence, crazy. The gore, crazy. But the subtlety to it, the little moments of Matt Murdock's Catholic faith. I fucking love the Catholic representation, because that's something that we really don't get anywhere. So I love the show. It gave me everything I wanted. Just the perfect fucking Daredevil show. Charlie Cox is Daredevil. It's so fucking, it's perfect. It wraps around a nice little bow, and it's so good. It makes me bust.
Shut up.
Okay, anyways, so next up, to go from one of, if not the best MCU project to one of the fucking worst, Avengers Age of Ultron. I like the Vision stuff. I like the Quicksilver stuff. I like the Scarlet Witch stuff. They don't even call her Scarlet Witch. They just call her Wanda in this fucking movie. Anyways, yeah. So I like the Scarlet Witch stuff. I like all this stuff. It's pretty cool. But other than that,
You didn't see that coming.
Fuck you, man. Other than that, the movie sucks. It's fucking boring. It's boring. It's weird. It's really weirdly written. The fight scenes are kind of weird. It's just a weird movie. And the fact that this movie has so much like essential, very important stuff to the MCU is very, very weird to me. And also the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. crossover with this movie was stupid. Anyways, next up we get Ant-Man. This is the most B-tier Marvel movie like ever. This is like when I think of B-tier Marvel movie, Ant-Man is what I think of. This is the epitome of the B-tier Marvel movie.
Ant-Man be like, me go small, me say family, me win.
I like the Mexican guy because I'm Mexican and he's really cool.
You was the hardest thing from Mexican, bro. You was not Mexican.
He was Mexican.
Bro. You were the most wisest person in the world, bro. You like coleslaw, bro.
I don't know. I like coleslaw, but what does that got to do with it? All right, I'm Mexican, bro. Literally browner than you. Literally browner than you. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the one Mexican dude in this fucking movie is literally our Black Panther. Dude, we don't get, us Mexicans get fucking nothing. And we don't ask for nothing either. I'm not asking for shit, alright? I'm not asking for fucking Blue Beetle. Fuck Blue Beetle, bro. I'm not asking for much. I'm just saying, man, that guy, he's my hero, man. He's my Black Panther, alright? He's my hero, and I love him.
Ant-Man.
He hard carries this fucking movie. He should have been the star of the movie, because without him, this movie would be fucking mid. I'd give it a fucking C tier.
Anyways.
I'm fucking sick of Ant-Man. Next up. So with this we'll be halfway done, technically. We're supposed to be 2/3 done, but we're really only halfway done. Jessica Jones, it's an A-tier show. I really love it. I'm not gonna bore everyone with this shit, because Eric doesn't fucking care, and he's never gonna watch any of these shows. But it's really good. But it's very dark and mature. If you aren't a fan of like suicide and like rape stuff, this isn't like a show for you. But if you can stomach that stuff, you can find yourself a very good show. It easily has, honestly, probably my favorite MCU villain with the Purple Man, aka Killgrave. He's such a fucking interesting villain. I fucking love him. The first season, front to back, perfect. Season 2, also pretty good. I think the show kind of loses itself a bit with season 3, and like season 2 is pretty good. But yeah, it kind of loses itself in the end. But it's a pretty good show, and I like it. And it seems like something you're interested in. There's a lot of great detective stuff. Jessica's a fucking great character.
Jessica Jones is just like rape and sad. The show.
Yeah, basically.
So,
but it's pretty cool. And if you're into that, it's pretty cool. And easily the darkest MCU project ever. It's kind of weird that's even fucking part of the MCU. But yeah, it's good. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. You want to stay tuned for next month, in which we'll be covering the second half's worth of content. And you just want to stay subscribed if you want new ranked episodes. I have a lot of them coming up. Not just all Marvel related, some other pretty cool, interesting stuff. Here are 2 other videos you could be watching, whether it's a podcast, other ranked video, whatever. So just subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you back here